everyone! So this Halloween I played Kholat, which is billed as an open-world, atmospheric horror game. It takes place in some very cold mountains in Russia, and it's supposed to be based on a true story of some hikers that disappeared under some fairly strange circumstances. Kholat is very hands-off when it comes to leading the player through the game. This is often done with horror games to give you a sense of being lost, alone, and desperate, and it's definitely true here. Essentially, you're given a map, a compass, and some coordinates, and off you go. Oh, and the map is often inaccurate, and there are signs everywhere to mislead you. And it's snowy and dark. So good luck with that. The navigation is reminiscent of something you'd see in a survival game, although there are no other survival elements to worry about. Otherwise, the game mainly sticks to being an interactive story game. Not even really that interactive. Story game then? The game is quite short. I took probably the least efficient route possible and still finished up in about 5 hours. This is the part where it's probably becoming obvious that I didn't really care for Kholat. There were a few jump scares and a few sequences worthy of the horror title, but most of the game I spent wandering around vaguely lost in the snow, trying to get to one place or another. The story is conveyed by a series of notes and journal entries that the player will find along their way, though due to the very open nature of the map, it's possible to find those notes in any order imaginable. I found it very difficult to put together any kind of coherent story explaining what the heck was going on. I thought that might be my fault for not paying enough attention, or the fact that I was streaming at the time and so my focus was kind of split, but after checking YouTube for explanations of the ending, I'm kind of convinced that it was clearly meant to be a very mysterious and open-ended type of story that just kind of ended up being vague and not really much of a story at all. Once the credits rolled, I found myself pretty unsatisfied and with a million questions, and not in a mind-blown BioShock Infinite kind of way. There are some positives to the game. They really nailed the atmospheric aspect of it, and there's many times that the snowy visuals, the chilling music, the sound of the crunching snow actually gave me chills. There were a few tense scripted scenes that were interesting and took some focus to complete, and the narration from Sean Bean was actually quite nice. Honestly, the sections he narrated were what kept me interested enough that I actually kept playing, hoping that the story would resolve itself. Unfortunately, that never happened for me. In short, Kholat seemed to have a lot of potential to be an atmospheric horror game, not unlike something like Amnesia. But the story just never quite came together, even with the alternate ending, and just felt like a lot of wandering around in the snow.